In this Gitanjali song, number 50, Tagore brings out another mystical experience that he had. This is a parable par excellence. A parable is a simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson. This particular song conveys the significance and consequence of charity that we are all supposed to be involved in this short life of ours. We are advised to be charitable, not for material benefits, of course, but just to see the work and rule of karma that surrounds our small and fragile lives. The poet begins this song depicting himself as a beggar seeking alms from door to door. One day, as he was begging, suddenly as if in a dream, a beautiful golden chariot appeared in the distance. It was so bright and so golden and so definitely promising a lot of wealth. The poet, being a beggar, felt deeply hopeful of getting some money or some wealth or some riches out of that chariot. He thought of the person inside the chariot. He also will be a man of real wealth and prosperity. He should be a king of all kings, moving in his golden chariot. His days of penury and poverty are now over, and he will be amply provided with gold and riches, he wistfully thought. Thus waiting, he stood in the place. The chariot came nearer and stopped beside him. The graceful person inside smiled at the poet. To his great surprise, the king of the kings inside the chariot stretched his arms towards the poet and asked, "What have you got to give me?" The poet was surprised. What kind of a kingly jest it is? The king asking alms from a beggar? The poet was confused and shocked. But of course the poet searched his wallet and very slowly and unwillingly he took a small grain of corn and gave it to the king of kings. But in the evening, when the poet beggar emptied his bag on the floor, he was shocked to see a very small gram of gold among the other money that he had collected on that day. Now he bitterly wept and repented for giving the king just a small grain of corn only. Actually, he should have given his all, his entire heart to the king of kings. So the transaction that is mentioned here is not of anything material, as we may see. At the literal level, we see some transactions happening between the poet and the king of kings. But on a deeper level, we find that the exchange that happens is that of dedication, hard work. This parable seems very simple, but the undercurrent of meaning is forceful and persuasive enough to make us realize that life is generous only in equal proportion to the generosity that we possess. The more we are ready to give, the more comes back to us. In spirituality, one should be able to stake all that one has if one intends to reach full blossoming of our being, if one intends to reach the full blossoming of his being.